This is a show where I get to bring amazing guests from all around the world who are aspiring transformational leaders, inspirational speakers, and spiritual messengers who are sharing their stories, their tools, and their practices to help you become who you came here to be and do what you came here to do, and really step in a more empowered way along your life's mission. Today's guest is from Minnesota. This is Lisa Carmichael. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Jen.
Hi. She is an entrepreneur and a marketing professional who, of course, lives in Minnesota. She shares tips and strategies to help you with your business using automation and duplication. Her marketing business helps entrepreneurs develop strong relationships, and her clients are entrepreneurs who want to stand out from their competitors and manage their reputations and their legacies. Lisa Carmichael is an entrepreneur herself, a marketing professional, and a published author. She is the mother of 3 adult children whose transition into adulthood and the step into an empty nest was part of this journey. Lisa, thank you so much for being here and joining me from Minnesota through the powers of Zoom.
Love it.
Yes, I am Jennifer Regular, based in Victoria, BC, and also known as the Soul Illuminator at Lighting the Path. And so, of course, I always like to ask my guests, what lit your path, Lisa? What was it that got you going into this path of passion and purpose and really being able to share the world what your journey is and what your message is?
I believe that my path has always been to become an entrepreneur. I tried working corporately. I actually left corporate twice, thinking that it was made for me. And every step along my journey, I realized that I had to dig deeper into myself to become the entrepreneur that I was meant to be. And so really leaning into that was a big struggle for me, but it has been the best decision of my life. I am the happiest I've ever been. I'm at the healthiest I've ever been. And it's because I've chosen to follow this path of believing in myself.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Choosing your own path. And I know it was Euripides that said the wisest follow their own direction, right?
I like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Well, Lisa, what do you think was the source of that struggle in the beginning?
I believe that I was spending a lot of time trying to prove to myself that I was good enough.
Mm.
Not necessarily trying to prove that I could do things, but I just always felt like I was stuck, struggling, trying to prove that I was okay, that everything would be okay. And instead of just making the assumption that everything would be okay and that I was good enough. And I don't know why that realization came to me. Maybe even just a few weeks ago. It was like, oh, I've been trying to prove to myself that I'm good enough. I don't need to prove that. I don't need to prove to myself that I'm good enough. I don't need to prove to anybody that I'm good enough. But my time is better spent learning skills and learning things and getting to know people and building relationships with other people than to worry about how I am with myself. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Being able to accept yourself and that inherent self-worth that we get to tap in, that we all are okay. We are enough and we are perfect. Actually, we're more than enough, right?
We sure
Yes.
are.
And then
Yeah.
to really
Yeah.
embody that rather than react to life and, like you say, in a way of trying to prove ourselves or justify the reasons for doing anything, and really just
Yeah.
embodying our truth and who we are and who we came
Mhm.
here to be. And you mentioned
Mhm.
that you wrote a book as well. What was the book about?
So my book was part of my journey that I was in an entrepreneur program and I just felt like I was comparing myself to everyone else. I literally would take breaks and I would go in the ladies' restroom and I would do breathing exercises and do these affirmations of I am okay, I will be okay, everything is okay. I don't understand, I don't need to understand. And I'd go back into the meetings and I'd be like normal. And I'd stop the comparing But at the same time, I was wondering, why are these entrepreneurs so successful and I'm still struggling? And so what I had going for me at that time was I was journaling and I had been hearing a lot about affirmations. So I decided to transcribe my affirmations, to be vulnerable, to be transparent. I transcribed my journal, my diary, and I had a goal of a 300-page novel or a 300-page manuscript. And it was just one step after another that led me to writing this book, I Have Time for You. And when I say I have time for you, that time was the meaning of I have time for me. That I was
Yes.
making time for myself. I was showing up for myself and becoming the person that I always wanted to be, because I was ignoring myself. I was comparing, I was looking at how successful everyone else was instead
Mm.
of focusing on I was okay and I will be okay when I use the positive affirmations instead of all the negative recordings.
Yes, yes. Engaging in that positive self-talk and
Mm-hmm.
affirming, who we are and that we are worthy and that we don't need to be comparing ourselves to other people. And when we look at others that are successful or that we think might be better than us, then instead of saying that we're not, we can say, I can be too,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
And
can be
being,
too. Yeah.
yeah, and being open to receiving at that level that they are. If they can be that successful, I can be that successful too. Instead of
Yes.
I'm not as good as they are, I'll never be as good as they are. Just changing those negative self recordings, that self doubt was it was a deal maker. That was the pivot point really for me, realizing that I pretty much erased all those negative recordings because I had recorded so many new positive affirmations that I was looking for positive people. I was looking for abundance. I was looking for joy and happiness.
Yes, and then to be able to create that and give that to yourself. And I love that title, I Have
Thank
Time for
you.
You. Yeah, that is so beautiful because you're right. People don't often, and myself included, make time for ourselves, right? To listen to ourselves, to feel safe and seen and supported by us,
Yes.
not trying to, receive that from someone else and then make all of our actions about being worthy of being seen and feeling safe and having that support that we have to somehow earn it or earn
Mm-hmm.
someone's trust, earn someone's respect, and yeah, earn our sense of worth just
Right.
from
Earn
having
someone's
feedback.
Yeah, and the best way to earn someone's trust is to be trustworthy with ourselves. So what
Yes.
I discovered was I had to show up for myself every single day. And that's what affirmations are about. It's consistency, it's momentum. When you show up for yourself, it's so easy to put ourselves on the bottom of the to-do list. And when you show up for yourself, you are becoming a magnet that people are noticing that. They're seeing that, she's grounded. Something's going on with her, and that I can respect, and I'm attracted to that. And I want to know what they're doing and why success is just suddenly coming to them.
Yes, and putting yourself first instead of on the bottom of that to-do list. And
Mhm.
something I sometimes share too is about even alongside your to-do list, having a to-be list. How do you want to be in the world? How do you want to be showing up? And self-esteem, self-worth, and authenticity are big buzzwords that have been for decades now, right? We all want
Mhm.
to achieve this sense of self-actualization, of really being who we are, but feeling safe in expressing our own needs, our own desires, our own wants, even that if that means just wanting to sit on the couch for half a day or, turning off the phone or just having some quiet time. It doesn't have to be doing something to make
Mhm.
up for the time that you're not doing something else or being with someone else. It can actually be doing nothing also, just wanting to be instead of having to do all the time.
Right,
So I really
exactly.
like what you said there about, putting yourself on that to-do list too. How are you going to do
Yeah.
you, right? How do you do you?
And
Yeah.
it's funny because that just kind of ties into what I've been writing about lately. After becoming an author, I started getting comfortable with blogging. And my last two blog posts have been about patience as a female entrepreneur, and waiting as a female entrepreneur.
Oh.
Because there's so much grace and so much elegance to waiting and not getting caught up in the next shiny object and not getting distracted by the hustle and the go, 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 but rather, like you said, embracing embracing being who you are. And that goes back even farther to your belief. So as an entrepreneur, you have to have a belief in what service that you offer. And that belief comes from knowing without a doubt that success is yours. Knowing without a doubt that you have a solution for someone that needs your solution. And so, and then belief also comes with, no hesitation, that you have that strong belief, because that's that internal game, like you said, with self-doubt, that subconscious decision that my belief is my being. And the two really work together, as well as trust. After belief, then you have to have the trust that what you believe is actually true. So after you've made the decision of belief in your product or in your mindset, trust is knowing that you're certain without a doubt that that's your being. And that's all comes from your self-affirmations. It comes from what you say to yourself. So what you believe, who you are being, and then trusting that what you believe and trusting in whatever you've created is a solution.
Yes, those thoughts, those beliefs, the self-talk, it's checking into the source of where all of that even came about. Like, where was that thought formed? Where did
Mm-hmm.
that mental formation come from? Where did those beliefs come from? Where did they start? And resourcing yourself could also
Mm-hmm.
mean, building up that self-worth, that self-acceptance, the self-trust, becoming trustworthy, as you say. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, one of the things that they're really stuck on too is about money, when it comes to money,
Mm-hmm.
and defining success by that as well. Can you share a little bit about that, about healing the relationship with self and with money?
I had this relationship with money that I never had enough. There was never enough. Money was the root of all evil, and not just the love of money, but I just had a backwards outlook on money. And I read the book, I can think of the author's name, Wallace Waddles, The Science of Getting Rich. That was the name of his book. It's actually on my website. Anyway, it really changed my thought process that money and time are interchangeable. And I've spent the last 5 years on the long, crazy road of being an entrepreneur. And I could have saved myself a huge amount of time if I would have had a better relationship with money. But I felt like I had to scrimp, I had to save. I could not live my best life because I was always afraid of overspending. And that fear, even the word money, just gave me anxiety. And I was the person that was not willing to invest in myself. And once I invested in myself, I realized that, well, I was worth my investment, and that I could have saved a huge amount of time if I would have gone down the road of getting a coach or finding a mentor instead of trying to always figure things out by myself. So yeah, money, I truly believe it's a relationship, and it's a relationship that you have to figure out. And it might take journaling, it may take affirmations. I have a really great affirmation in my book about money, and there really is, money is not ever going to go away. There is enough money, and it regenerates itself. It just it will just keep coming at you if you're open to receiving it.
Yes. And that's something I'm hearing a lot in your message too, about being open to receiving. And what I'm also hearing is that whether it's money, ourselves, or time, there's that same belief of I'm not enough. I don't have enough. I'm not doing enough, right? Not being enough, whether it's time, money, or our self-concept.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true. I feel like as the economy has changed and there are more entrepreneurs, sometimes we as female entrepreneurs, we fall back into that role of being a caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
And that we always have to be doing things for other people. But when we're open to receiving maybe a compliment or money or goodness, it just, when we realize that life is always offering us more and more opportunities versus that, there's only so much to go around. That is just such a misconception.
Mm-hmm.
The ability, what you're saying, the ability to receive is really powerful.
Yes.
If you can wrap your mind around it, and if you can be open to it, maybe meditate on it, just really think about it, journaling about it. It really is another mindset.
Yeah. So basically switching then from the idea that there's not enough to there's more where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
always have all that I need, like creating some affirmation and reassurance, really,
Yeah. Yep.
around that. Yeah. So then you do feel safe, that you can trust and you can let go and not constrict it or block it by
Mm-hmm.
thinking that there's not enough or there's never enough, that there's more where that came from. And like you say, then it circulates. There's an exchange of energy, it flows. That's where, cash flow comes from, right? Being able to give it and to receive it, and to doing it in a loving way. Because you
Right.
talked about fear as well, right? And that's the kind of energy and vibration that we're putting into that relationship with money and ourselves and with time. And we can also switch that around and being in a loving way and create new beliefs, new thoughts around it, put new energy into it, because that's what we're spreading around then, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
holding on to or investing in,
Mm-hmm.
even the words investing in ourselves and investing in our savings. And, we're creating more when we invest.
We are. And along with fear, I believe I grew up with the word shame. And it took me a
Mm-hmm.
long time to try to take that word out of my vocabulary, take it out of my mindset, and not raise my kids that way, that there's no room for shame. And yeah, because like you're saying, there's always room for more. And
Yes.
everything we believe, it's our mind is what we think. What we believe will make room for more. And when we trust, then we allow, and then that's when that openness comes with abundance and joyfulness, happiness.
Yes, yes, yes. And so, Lisa, how can we cultivate more joy and happiness and abundance in our lives?
By focusing on it. If we're going
Mm,
to stay stuck in the doom and gloom and always look at the negative and stay stuck in the past, I'd much rather have a person enjoy the here and now. So like as an experience of like traveling, if you go somewhere you've never been before, you're curious and you're excited, and you're not looking back like, oh no, what happened last time or something like that, versus you're living in the here and now. And if we can keep that mindset of like a traveler, always having curiosity and living in the moment, that's that's how you that's how really how it works. It's all about centering yourself on the here and now. And I'm sorry, you can't live in the past. We can't.
We can't, because where is it really? Right? It's gone. It's just gone.
Mm. Although I
Yeah.
love the past.
Yes. Yes. The PowerPoint really is in the present moment, and it is the entry point into the future as well.
Nice, I love it.
Yeah, so coming back into the here and now is a perfect way too to resource ourselves, to be here now, and we resource our power in the present moment and use that as an entry point into the future. Our thoughts, our actions, our words are all expressing how we want to be
Great.
moving forward in the future, and to be more conscious of that can have a much better outcome than when we're just
Yeah,
playing by default in old thought forms and beliefs that can really be self-defeating and self-limiting and not be enough if we're
right.
believing that,
Yeah.
right? But
So
there's another way.
instead of saying what could go wrong, what can go right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I love that. And there's something I like to, a phrase that I use sometimes is, instead of looking at what's wrong with you or wrong in you, what's
Mm-hmm.
strong in you.
Beautiful.
Yes. And then moving from that space. And so, what are the ways that people can get a hold of you, Lisa? And what ways do you work with them?
So everything is pointing, my hub is my website. And my website is my name with my middle initial, Lisa R. Carmichael.com. And when I was writing my book, part of the affirmations was gratitude.
Mm,
Gratitude really raised my vibration the entire time. And going to bed every night, being grateful for three things really is a deal breaker. And for me on Instagram, showing my gratitude every day, just every day at 10 a.m., posting what am I grateful for.
mm.
So I'm on social media, but the best place to find me, I'll be most likely blogging on my website. And again, it's lisarcarmichael.com. And I also have a free download on the website that has my secrets, my 7 secrets, how I use online marketing to build my website, to build my Epic Mastermind, and to an Epic Mastermind is meant to help female entrepreneurs who are stuck and struggling and need that accountability.
Yeah.
And that free download is just the first step that you'll learn so pretty much everything that I've done in increments, in 7 increments, 7 steps.
Amazing. That's such a generous gift. Thank you, Lisa. And I'll make sure to put the link to that and your website in the show notes for everyone to link into, and to find you on Instagram and join you on that gratitude train.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
amazing. Yeah, to help raise the vibration. Absolutely. Yes. Do you have any other final words of wisdom to share with the audience?
Just again, be open to receiving,
Mm.
read. I read every day. I make time for reading because I feel it's just so important to feed your mind with good thoughts and not negative
Mm.
thoughts. Surround yourself with positive people, and again, be open to receiving all the good things that are meant for you. It's just a vibration. Take care of yourself. Self-care is huge for me. I'm a self-care junkie.
Yay.
I love taking care of myself. I love my monthly facials. I love taking care of me because if I don't take care of me, no one else is going to. And plus, nobody else will do it the way I want. So,
I
but it
love
all
that.
ties together. It really does tie all together. It's more of a holistic approach, if that's an easier way to describe it. So, but you can start by visiting my website, and that's the best way to reach out to me. And I'm always open to questions or feedback. We learn from each other.
Yes, indeed we do. Thank you so much for that gift. And thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you, Jen. It's my honor to be here. I'm grateful. that you had me on your show today.
Yes, thank you. And I want to thank each and every one of you too that have been listening and watching.